Hey, Happy New Year. I'm Phil. This is Jen. We are the Brangers. It's been a little while, but we are back to take a quick look at 2018 and a look forward at 2019. So 2018 was an awesome year. We got to see our family kind of change. We started into an adoption, which led us into the YouTube rabbit hole, which we have failed a little bit on the YouTube rabbit hole, and we'll talk about that a little bit in just a second. But we got to see, our son grow up this year a lot more. He's really kind of become a big kid, and he's stepping into that big brother role even before.
He's officially a big brother.
Yeah, even before Sister's home. So he's really already kind of grabbing onto that moniker of being a big brother. We actually just had his 8th birthday this morning, so it's super exciting to see him get to grow up. And our lives have changed a lot with work and school life and that kind of stuff. But yeah, so with YouTube, we started down this process to help bring people along on our adoption journey a little bit. The problem is with an adoption, there are a lot of moments when you are kind of hurry up and wait. And so, in those hurry up moments, we had a lot of stuff to talk about. And I feel like...
But then you're busy, and it's hard to find time to talk about it.
Right, but I feel like kind of over the summer and in the spring, when we had a lot of those hurry up moments, we did a pretty good job of capturing, the home study process and the stuff shortly thereafter, and some of the fundraising stuff that we were doing over the summer. We did a pretty good job capturing that and putting it out there. But then kind of as we went into the fall, we really kind of hit this slow period when there wasn't a whole lot of stuff going on. We were waiting on paperwork and waiting on paper to go from one country to another country, and officials in this country to talk to officials in this country, and just waiting for things to happen. And we didn't have anything to talk about. And so we just kind of disappeared. And then once we got into another period of hurry up, stuff was changing at my job, so I had a lot of stuff going on there, and we brought Micah home this year from school, and Jen is now homeschooling him, so she was a lot more busy in the house, and we had stuff to talk about, but we just didn't have any time to talk about it.
So we're going to give you a good recap right now.
Yeah, so looking at 2018, what were some of your big moments this past year?
So... definitely just seeing God provide this year has been miraculous, but it's been amazing, just as it was with our first adoption, but the second adoption has been more like mind-blowing. God's just like, okay, trust me, I've got this, I'm going to show you what I can do. And it's been ridiculous how he has provided for this adoption process. When we have had some changes on the home front and in life, and but he's provided and made a way, and just the timing's worked out great. And yeah, it's almost like 2018 doesn't quite feel like it's over yet. I don't know if it'll feel like it's over until after we hop off that plane in a couple weeks and are back home. But but it's been a good year.
Yeah, for me, I think kind of some of my biggest moments with Micah, getting kind of hooked up with Limbs Without Limits was awesome this year. We got to see him go out on Lake Day and kayak and kneeboard and just all these things that he really, really enjoyed doing. Stuff that I honestly wasn't sure if he would ever be able to enjoy those kind of things due to some physical limitations, limabilities.
There's a new one.
Yeah, physical limitations.
Here today.
But just things that he got to enjoy, and just it kind of opened my eyes of what he's going to be able to do in life. And there's just nothing that, if he wants to do it, he can do anything that he wants to do. And so that was just a really big growing moment for me personally this year. And we got to see friends and family come alongside and just raise money for our adoption with the Both Hands fundraiser. It was just an awesome way to see people who don't know us personally, who are friends of friends of friends, that got to hear our story and saw kind of what was going on, and just sent us more money than any person that doesn't know me should ever send me. And it was just awesome just to see. It was humbling to see people that you don't know send you money to help bring your daughter home from across the world. And so those are kind of two big moments for me this past year. But talking about fundraising, one thing that's really kind of hit both of us the past few days is we've kind of looked at the money that was raised this year, and one way that people raise money for adoptions is through grant agencies. And so one thing that Jen did really well this year was applying for grants. And applying for a grant it's not filling out an application for a job. It is lots and lots of paperwork. It is your life story and all of your finances and everything that makes up who you are.
They're all just a little bit different.
Yeah, you can't just reproduce the paperwork. That'd be really nice if you could just copy one to another. But how many grants did you apply for this year?
So I completed applications for 15 different grant organizations.
Yeah, that's awesome. And how many of those grants did we receive?
We received funds from 6 of those organizations.
That's awesome. So from grants and the Both Hands fundraiser and T-shirt fundraisers and friends and family that just kind of came around us to give us money, how much money was raised this past year? About how much money was raised this past year to bring Rosie home? So
our adoption is fully funded at this point, which is amazing, but 90%, 95, maybe more percent of those funds came in through half and half, like half from grant organizations and half from like our Both Hands Project and other fundraising kind of sources, family and friends and that kind of stuff. But over $30,000 of the expenses related to our adoption were raised not out of our pockets for this adoption.
Which is awesome because those pockets are not deep.
But it's mind blowing, just the provision there and humbling, just knowing all the people who are invested in the story and part of Rosie's legacy even before she joins our family, which is pretty amazing and just humbling to know we give God all the glory for providing the monetary funds that are required to complete an adoption. It's just part of it, but he made it happen.
Yep. So looking back at 2018, the big story for the Brangers in 2018 was definitely this adoption. It was all encompassing, and anytime we went to church, or in reality, in the last 3 or 4 months, just about every time I went to work, just about every time anytime we went anywhere, and people knew who we were. That's what we talked about, was how's the adoption going and what's going on and what's your timeline and what are we looking at. And so as we prepare for 2019, we kind of try to set some goals. It's a little bit difficult because we don't know what life is going to look like. But Jen, what would you say your goals are for this coming year?
I've got a few. They're modest, kind of on the home front sort of goals, knowing all of the unexpected, unknown things that our life is going to look like. But I need to it's just a necessity with the life change, shift my quiet times to early morning before there's a peep out of anyone else in the house, I think is when that's going to have to happen now. But I know that is going to be critical this year. So that's top priority list there. I did set a 3-day-a-week goal for this next one, but I got a little more realistic and decided I want to exercise at least 2 days a week, even if that's yoga with a YouTube video. I would like to adhere and make some kind of cleaning schedule, which is also kind of a necessity thing. And then one more child equals more laundry, so I'd like to do 1 load of laundry every day. I'm going to need some accountability, so yes, help me out with that. But then I also would like to carve out an hour and a half Saturday evening, Sunday evening, somewhere around there, just to do lesson planning for homeschool and meal planning and just all those weekly things, just to start the week off on the right foot, so I don't have to worry about those things.
Nice. So for me, most of my adult life I've had a beard, but I don't think there has been a full 365-day period that I've actually gone without shaving. So one of my goals for this year is to actually grow out a beard and see kind of what that looks like. So the only trimming or quote-unquote shaving I'm going to do this year is going to be maintenance, just shaping things up, cleaning it up.
Now, I don't know how much of a sacrifice no shaving is.
I'd say it was a sacrifice. It was a goal.
I think I might be sacrificing for this goal.
But
I'm going to learn to braid a beard this year. That's another goal. Yeah,
there you go.
yeah.
Nice. Yeah, so I'm excited about that, just to kind of see what happens, because I think the longest I've ever gone is about 5 months, and that is a pretty long beard. So let's see what a year looks like. Beyond that, I would like to read more to put a number on it. I'm going to try and read a book a month, so 12 books this year, which really isn't that lofty of a goal. I used to love reading, but life kind of happens, and it's a whole lot easier to pick up a remote than it is to pick up a book. So this year I'm going to do my best to focus on reading a lot more than watching television specifically. And then on top of that, we talked about last year being all about the adoption, and it seems like this year going forward would be all about the adoption, except today is January 1st, and 2 days from now we are going to get on a plane and fly across the world and pick up our dog, get our daughter. So Rosie's going to be coming home in January. So next year we are going to shift from adoption to 4-person family, or I guess this year, because it's already 2019. Mm-hmm. So this year it's still all going to be about adoption. It's just going to be on the other side. So we're excited about that. And another goal that I think as a couple we would like to make is, we've done this adoption thing twice now. I don't think anybody ever really knows what they're doing.
By no means experts.
But I think we've started to get a grip on it, and I don't think that we are going to be.
Process.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be pursuing a third adoption anytime soon. Anyway, so we would like to kind of shift that focus and that knowledge to helping others. So if you know anybody who's going through the adoption process, feel free to point them to our videos, and they can send us a message, either comment on a video or send us a message through YouTube. We would love to help people fill out grant paperwork. Not necessarily fill it out for them, but help guide them. And filling out grant paperwork and giving them ideas for fundraisers, hooking them up with Both Hands or bonfire funds or any of that stuff, and just kind of helping them wrap their heads around what seems like an impossible number, and just what is probably the biggest roadblock for most people adopting children, which is just such a huge need in our world today. So if we can, whatever we can do to get rid of that roadblock for people, we want to do. So if you all could help us with that, possibly share these videos, put it in front of people. That's kind of what we want to pursue going forward. I don't know what it looks like yet, but we'll find out. Maybe other people will tell us what that looks like. But that's that's kind of what we're looking at in 2019. So the next time you see us, we will have Rosie with us. So that is super excited. We are super excited for that. It's super exciting. So family of 4, here we come. Y'all have a good one.